What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. So, did we just see Moose from TNA pop up on NXT and go face to face with NXT champion Oba Femi? What's going on with Scorpio Sky? We haven't seen him in a minute. What's going on there? Roxanne Perez has been shining a lot brighter these days. Jade Cargill, a possible return this Monday on Raw, or this Saturday on Elimination Chamber. Ricky Starks, no longer called Ricky Starks, but is now a member of WWE and in NXT, and has a match this coming Tuesday on NXT. Brit Baker, we haven't seen her in a minute. And of course, The Rock made an appearance on SmackDown and gave an interesting offer to Cody Rhodes. And of course, we've got some rumors to read. So, everyone, welcome to a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Now, before I get started, just want to make sure everyone knows, like I do every week, that some of the rumors from this past week that I am about to read are what they are. They are rumors. So let's speculate wildly as we want, but until we see it either happening on TV or they've been proven a fact or true in some other way, we keep them as they are. They're rumors. So let's dive in. Tony Khan told Wrestle Radio Australia that AEW took Grand Slam Australia to Brisbane rather than another Australian city because, as he's quoted, Brisbane wanted us. Brisbane came to us and said, we really want you. We want you to do a show here. We think AEW would be a tremendous attraction to Brisbane. All I will say about AEW Grand Slam is is the same thing that I said last week on Wrestling with Rumors, and that is it was a missed opportunity for Tony Khan and AEW to have Grand Slam go live exclusively on Max. Fans of pro wrestling of AEW who have a subscription to Max would have woken up early to watch AEW Grand Slam live. For those who didn't want to wake up early and who have a Max subscription, would have woken up when they would have woken up, thrown Max on, and then watched the replay of Grand Slam at any point during the day. For those who don't have a Max subscription, they would have waited until NBA All-Stars was done for the night and then watch the replay of AEW Grand Slam on TNT as it was advertised to be. And that's the missed opportunity, and I am not changing my mind on that. I feel like that was the missed opportunity. Harley Cameron winning the TBS championship was another missed opportunity. I think she should have won. I feel like it was her time. And I still feel like it was too soon for Toni Storm to have won, to have recaptured the AEW Women's Championship. I feel like there was a full circle moment that could have happened at All In between Mariah May and Toni Storm, and Toni Storm could have recaptured the AEW Women's Championship at All In instead of Grand Slam, and you just have Mariah May hold on to that championship a little longer and allow her to cook and build even more going into All In. But that's how I feel about that. Other than that, I thought Grand Slam was a fairly good show. But that's where I'll leave it. But that is where I leave it there. We just move on and we see what happens next when it comes to AEW. Anyway, according to PW Insider Pete Rosenberg, we'll be doing commentary for WWE's Evolve show. I'm very curious for WWE's version of Evolve and how this will look. I think I'm going to have to download the Tubi app just to check it out. It begins March 4th. I know they've already taped a few episodes, so I know they got a few episodes in the can. So I am curious to see how this will play out. I know some of the talent that's in NXT will be featured in this Evolve show. And just got to see what happens, right? All right. WWE is gearing up towards a match between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania 41, according to WrestleVotes on a recent Backstage Pass Q&A podcast. In the recent 2 weeks, as we've seen how things have been going between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, especially since Solo Sikoa came back, how Jacob Fatu is really upset with Solo Sikoa, how Solo Sikoa just left. Solo Sikoa explained to Jacob Fatu that he lost to Ulufala. He needed time to process. But for him not to answer any phone calls and just to go complete and just to put not only Jacob Fatu but Tama Tonga on red like that, dang. So you can understand how Jacob Fatu feels about Solo Sikoa right now, especially since Solo Sikoa accidentally Samoan spiked Tama Tonga during a triple threat qualifying elimination chamber match. And that kind of distracted Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu did not qualify for that match. And then how Jacob Fatu accidentally super kicked Solo Sikoa this past Friday in a tag match between Damian Priest and Braun Strowman. So I feel like, WrestleMania 41. I could see that happening. And then there's a couple things I could see that could happen after WrestleMania 41. But as far as the match at 41, I could definitely see that happening for sure. On the same show, WrestleVote said they don't think Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio is happening at WrestleMania. Instead, they've heard potential AJ Styles for a single match with Balor. Excuse me. If it's not Braun Breaker versus Styles, I am leaning more towards it being Braun Breaker versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. An AJ Styles versus Finn Balor match at WrestleMania, it still will be a hell of a match. I mean, they tear the house down every time, but I feel like it makes more sense to have the Braun Breaker AJ Styles match at WrestleMania. And I feel like if that were to happen, I feel like AJ Styles would win at WrestleMania, winning the Intercontinental Championship. That's how I feel like that could go. WrestleVotes cautious that WrestleMania's undercard is still being worked on and that a lot of shuffling is still going on there. Fortunately, there's still some time before you have to start announcing a lot more matches for WrestleMania. We're still on this kick for Elimination Chamber. We got a week to go. Elimination Chamber is this Saturday, which means April 1st is coming up quick. And so there's still time. So I'm not worried. WrestleMania is 2 nights, and there's a lot to put on to make sure you have officially on paper before you absolutely have to start building those undercard matches. Fightful says the women in WWE who are frustrated have concerns about the struggling tag team division, lack of screen time for women who aren't the top stars, and poor development of championship contenders. There are also frustrations with talent being told to have patience when asking about their creative plans, but nothing ever comes from it. Some women who aren't featured much on Raw or SmackDown feel uncertain about their future in WWE, especially seeing how the company suddenly decided to part ways with Sonya Deville while in the middle of negotiations with a new deal. While negotiating a new deal with her, Sonya Deville did her show, posted a video part of this podcast she does with her partner. And she did say she was surprised, but she wasn't mad. She wasn't mad about it. There's no hard feelings about it. She still has a good, she feels like, even though she left so suddenly, that she's still on good terms with, not only with everybody in the locker room, but with the management too. So she looked at it as it was just her time to go. That chapter is done, and now she's able to focus on other things that she wasn't able to focus on when she was with WWE. So it's no hard feelings. I am kind of curious what's going to happen with oh, damn it. I apologize. Now, oh man, I think of that faction, there's the faction she was part of. Oh my god. I completely am not thinking of the two names right now. My apologies for that. But as far as how the women feel, I get it. I mean, I don't personally get it, but I can understand how frustrated and concerned they would be. And hopefully things turn around. There's still a lot of time left in 2025, and still a lot of time before we get to WrestleMania as well. So hopefully within that time, things will get better. Positive vibes and hope. Moving on. F4W's Online's Brian Alvarez said he gets complaints from people in AEW every single week about Tony Khan refusing to do production meetings. Thunder Rosa's awkward run-in on this week's Dynamite was cited as something that could have been prevented with a production meeting. Everybody was on a different page. Nobody knows how to explain what happened. And the babyface looked like an absolute idiot. If this is true about Tony Khan not doing production meetings, a production meeting would have saved Thunder Rosa's awkward run-in this past Tuesday on Dynamite, because the way she came in there and how she had that chair ready to strike, she had a clear shot to hit that, to go for the chair shot, and she didn't take it. She hesitated. There was definitely some awkwardness going on in that run-in. So a production meeting would have absolutely saved that from happening. That could have easily not happened had there been a production meeting. So if it's true, Tony Khan, you need to be doing production meetings. So your talent who are going to be featured on that week's episode of Dynamite and Collision are all on the same page about their spots, about where they need to run in, and about what needs to happen, exactly how it happens. So no one looks like an idiot, a fool, or awkward. That's what I'll say about that. And that'll do it for the rumors. So let's get on to a few things that I wanted to talk about. So this past Tuesday on NXT, NXT was on fire. You know, NXT has been on some real heat lately. And that did not change this past Tuesday, as we were shocked with the entrance of Moose face to face with Oba Femi. It was definitely a holy shit moment, you know? And it feels, I'm still very much on this kick, and I know there's a lot of you who are also on this kick about wanting there to be like a Worlds Collide match, like an either NXT versus TNA, or a WWE versus TNA, and a straight up match, Oba Femi versus Moose, no championships on the line. Just those two, just these two powerhouses of hitters just going at it. Excuse me. That would be a hell of a match to see, and we all want to see that match. There is a good chance that this match could happen at NXT Roadblock at Madison Square Garden. But I really feel like a Worlds Collide event needs to happen because, and I'm also saying that because there are so many matches between TNA stars that I want to see happen with WWE superstars, and selfishly, and I feel a lot of people, and I feel like there's a good number of people who want to see this too. A match between Charlotte Flair and Tessa Blanchard is just, we got to see it. Is a match we got to see. I mean, I definitely want to see that match. I mean, these two are on that same level of just how they enter the ring, and about knowing who they are and not caring what anyone says. So it makes so much sense for those two women to go one-on-one with each other. Just answer the question. Let this, for me at least, dream match happen, you know? So Scorpio Sky, we haven't seen him in AEW in a while. I believe the last time we saw him in AEW was in 2023. So it's been a little over 2 years. I know he was injured, but he's no longer injured, and he just hasn't been featured. He just hasn't been featured on TV. I feel like Tony Khan and those in TNA are not really sure how to use Scorpio Sky anymore. I mean, that's what I feel like. They don't have anything for him, and they probably don't even know how to use him right now. But the dude is a hell of a talent, and he should be featured. They can easily work him in there in those continental matches. God, I don't know. I'm a little frustrated with this one. Because he should be on TV and he should be having storylines. He's an original. He's an AEW original, and he should be respected as such and have a little bit more on TV instead of being left in the back. So they need to work that. They need to figure that out. Roxanne Perez qualified for the Elimination Chamber. This is her first PLE this coming Saturday in the Elimination Chamber. Her first Elimination Chamber match. Essentially, she's already in the main roster. Essentially, she's already on the main roster having this match. And I don't think, now here's the thing. It'll be a definite shock to a lot of people, including myself, if she ends up winning the Elimination Chamber. But I don't think it'll be Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I don't even think it'll be Bayley against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I really don't know. This is one of those times where I can look at the card of it and be like, I really don't know. But whoever it turns out to be, you know what? Liv Morgan. You know, I'm just going to say it. Liv Morgan. I think Liv Morgan is going to win the Elimination Chamber, and it's going to be Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan one more time at WrestleMania for the Women's World Championship. I'm going to say Liv Morgan, and I will admit first if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say Liv Morgan in that case. But Roxanne Perez qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. She's practically on the main roster. And if it goes how it looks, she'll have probably one more big match at Stand and Deliver before officially being part of what feels like more the Raw roster than the SmackDown roster. But one can only hope. But Roxanne Perez, it's great to see how quick and how far she's come being in NXT, and she's definitely got a great future ahead of her in NXT. And the championship she will win on both Raw and SmackDown, I am excited to watch. Jade Cargill. So, Naomi and Bianca Belair have a match against Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez this Monday on Raw for the Women Tag Team Championship chips. So, one of two things could happen here. Now, either either Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez win the WWE Tag Team Championships, and in that same instant, Jade Cargill returns and says and goes after the person who attacked her, which I think is either Bianca Belair or Naomi, or it's possible. It's possible it could be both of them. It is possible it could have been both of them. Or Naomi and Bianca Belair retain. They go on to the Elimination Chamber, and Jade Cargill could make herself known at the Elimination Chamber there. And go after who attacked her there. But I feel like Jade Cargill returning. I feel it that us getting so close to WrestleMania. I feel like Jade Cargill will either turn either Monday or Saturday. Either Monday on Raw or Saturday on Elimination Chamber. I feel like it's where Jade Cargill might return. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's where it will happen. As far as Ricky Starks now being Ricky Saints in WWE on NXT. He's the absolute Ricky Saints. And the Revolution will still be televised. I know how a lot of people feel about the name change, but it's not uncommon. Something like this does happen quite a bit in WWE. Ricky Saints doesn't seem to be mad about it. He's still the same person. And he doesn't mind the change of the name from Ricky Starks to Ricky Saints because it's representing his home of New Orleans. So he's taking that piece with him. So no love loss here. All we can do is watch what Ricky Saints now does, which is be absolute and keep televising the Revolution and watch as he thrives. I feel in NXT, which he will, as he goes after championships and eventually makes that next step into the main roster. So let's watch, let's enjoy. The Revolution is televised beginning this Tuesday on NXT in a tag match. So let's watch. And Brit Baker. Now, all I'm going to say about Brit Baker is that, firstly, I miss watching her on TV. I've always enjoyed, I am a fan of Brit Baker, and what she does, the story she tells and what she does in the ring is really good. And I miss her in the ring, but what's going on between her and Tony Khan and AEW, whatever it is that's going on, I hope it gets handled and squashed and resolved soon, and they find common ground. Because if they're not going to use her anymore and they just end up releasing her, I hope she ends up coming to WWE. Brit Baker is a valuable talent, and she would bring more value to the women's locker room of WWE if she showed up on NXT, on Raw, or on SmackDown. So selfishly, I want to see her in WWE in the middle of the ring with the women. Be it a Rhea Ripley or a Bayley or Charlotte Flair, or whenever Becky Lynch comes back. Countless matches to have, and I would love her in WWE to have those matches. Selfishly, I would love to see her in WWE. And lastly, The Rock made an appearance on SmackDown. Two things happened with The Rock being there. First, The Rock announced that WrestleMania 42 will happen in New Orleans at the Superdome. Now, the last time WrestleMania was in the Superdome was WrestleMania 30. A couple things happened at that WrestleMania. First, both Rock, Hogan, and Stone Cold Steve Austin were all in the ring. It was also in that same moment where Hogan called the Superdome, the Silverdome. He got some flack for that one. They shared a beer. That was a nice little moment. First match of that card in that WrestleMania was Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan had to beat Triple H to be added to the undisputed WWE World Championship match. Because at that time it was Batista versus Randy Orton for that championship, because earlier in that year Batista had won the Royal Rumble, and fans made it known how they felt about Batista winning the Royal Rumble. So Daniel Bryan beat Triple H in that match, was added to that card. That became a triple threat match. That was the same WrestleMania 30, where Brock Lesnar defeated the Undertaker and became the one in Undertaker's no longer undefeated streak at WrestleMania. And Daniel Bryan in that triple threat match won both the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, and had that big moment, Yes-O-Mania, doing the yes chant with the crowd with both WWE and World Heavyweight Championship. It was a great moment, especially for Daniel Bryan, because the people got Daniel Bryan into that, and really wanted Daniel Bryan into that. Made themselves known. It was one of those rare moments at the time where WWE was really listening to the people. So that was a great moment. But WrestleMania 42 in April of 2026 is back in New Orleans at the Superdome. So that'll be great. And then The Rock called out Cody Rhodes, and essentially asking Cody Rhodes to be his champion. And what he meant by wanting Cody Rhodes to be The Rock's champion is he wants his soul. Now, understand that if Cody Rhodes has until the Elimination Chamber, so this Saturday we'll get the answer. Now, if Cody Rhodes says yes to The Rock, then that essentially makes Cody Rhodes a heel. That will turn Cody Rhodes heel. I know a lot of people have asked, when is Cody Rhodes going to turn heel? Well, it could happen this Saturday if he says yes and gives The Rock his soul and becomes The Rock his champion. But in that, he would no longer be considered a champion for the people that he has been, even before winning the WWE Championship. So, but if Cody Rhodes says no, continues to be a champion for the people, it's like what The Rock said in that press conference, that it doesn't necessarily have to lead into a match. Usually, if Cody Rhodes says no, then we're expecting a match between The Rock and Cody Rhodes to happen. But it necessarily doesn't have to lead to a match. Like The Rock said, this could be one of those things where if The Rock says no, then The Rock is going to find someone who will be his champion and will give his soul to The Rock and will allow The Rock to give that person everything they could ever want that he is offering Cody Rhodes, and make Cody Rhodes' life a living hell, and do anything and everything to take that championship away, to take everything away from Cody Rhodes without actually ever having to step in the ring with Cody Rhodes, is a possibility that could happen if Cody Rhodes says no. I think Cody Rhodes will say no, but I am looking forward to Cody Rhodes' answer this Saturday at Elimination Chamber, and that'll do it. That'll do it for this week of Wrestling with Rumors. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see y'all next week for a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Wrestling with Rumors might be a little shorter with the rumors that I read, because I am going to do a recap of what happened on Elimination Chamber. Looking forward to talking about that and everything that went down. But until then, in the meantime, between time, keep your head up. Take it one day at a time. And don't forget to take care of yourselves. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace, y'all.